Hello, Steampunkers. This is Texas Steampunk Connection coming to you live from various locations around the city of Austin, Texas, and we are back. If you're listening, if you're joining us live, thank you very much, and hello and greetings. If you're going to listen to us later on our podcast stream, then thank you for listening. First and foremost, we have two co-hosts to introduce to you. We have Jack and Lex here. Say hello, guys.
It's good to be here.
And we have Fax, who's our
I'm not new.
Previous podcast. He's not new. And maybe eventually E and Erica might pipe in every once in a while because it says Fax and E on there, so we'll see what happens.
She'll pop in if she's got something smart to say, which is very likely.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah, she's gonna sit there and laugh at me, right?
That's
laugh
fair.
at all of us. Yeah, I get that.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, my other channel. I just got this like every now and then. I hear this in the background.
I mean, I like to say, of course,
That's just my impersonation of you. Like much less like your impersonation of me. It's not quite right. By no means.
Nah, my impression of you is perfect.
Well, as you can tell, Jackson and Lex are such a loving couple.
Aww, so full of salt
And
high blood pressure all around.
Maybe a little bleach somewhere.
I think first and foremost, we got to say, I mean, Fax and I, our steampunk characters are basically we drink. So I am currently drinking. I have a beer here. I don't know if it's hard to see with this light. It's called Texas Liegers. It is a Knucklebock from the German-style dark lager. I think it has an old-timey baseball guy, so that's kind of, I think it's appropriate.
How's it taste?
Out of Missouri, it's good. I picked a really good beer. It's a kind of a dark color, which I like dark beers. This is a dark lager.
Sounds like you and Jack would be great drinking buddies.
I'm looking
Just
forward
great
to it in person.
buddies.
So am I. This is out of brewery called Texas Brewing Company in Missouri City, Texas. That's a weird name for Texas City, but it's Missouri City, Texas brewery. It's really good. In fact,
I'm have to find out where that is. I've never heard of it.
neither have I.
Maybe they made it just in
That's what are you
case,
drinking?
just for this moment.
Fax, what are you drinking?
What am I drinking? It's a Chardonnay.
A Chardonnay. Oh,
No,
fancy.
sorry. This is a Chenin Blanc from
Chenin Blanc.
Arabella Vineyards. I'm part of a wine club because I'm snooty,
okay.
I guess. But it's called
Oh, so fancy.
it's called Naked Wines.
So listen to those kind of
Not the only
wines.
reason I signed up for it, but it doesn't help. It hurts.
It's all the word naked on it.
They take a small amount out of my credit card every month, and when I have a large enough amount, I can order a case of all
nice.
kinds of,
I
a
like
selection of wines I do not know or understand, but they send me something new every time I order, and I haven't found a bad one yet.
I'm
I didn't
happy
know
we can do
anything
that
about wine,
these days.
but I'm learning.
Do
Yeah, I'm not a.
do they give you like a sweetness scale? Like there's some companies, they'll say, okay, do you prefer something a little bit sweeter or a little bit drier or something along those lines? Some places are a little bit more specific about that.
They don't have a scale of sweetness, but they do describe some as sweeter and some as tart or dry or tannic, depending on reds or whites or whatever.
Gotcha.
And they've got a lot of reviews from other people who have bought them. It's a pretty extensive club, so they get a lot of feedback that you can kind of look at.
If I can find a beer club like that, I'd be happy. There probably is one out there.
I don't think Texas allows beer yet. I think they allow wine for sure at the moment to be passed through the mail. But
Yeah, the beer laws are really weird. Well, the liquor laws are really weird. As our friend Rognus will tell us. And so, Jack and Lex, what are y'all drinking? If you're drinking anything,
We're drinking rum.
rum. Oh, I like rum. What kind of rum is that?
it's the good Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan. Okay, of
Yeah.
course.
Private stock. It's
Captain
gonna be
Morgan.
private stock.
You're
Oh,
right.
private.
You're right. I got a Captain Morgan's Black or something recently, and I was really disappointed.
Aww.
It was really the only one that I'd reach for.
And I'm not just drinking
Awesome.
rum. Of course, you got to show the shot glass to go with it. Oh, hey, or yeah, well, here.
You know what? Then he takes a sip. And... Ooh.
That's a little better.
The lighting's
Nice.
great,
Okay.
but it does
Yeah,
say
same. I'm having the same problem on my end. Awesome.
It's a little blurry.
it's blurry. Lighting's not great currently.
All right, so riveting conversation we're having already. Hey, Dan Burrow just sent us a message.
You're gonna have to like.
He's liking your look there, Thax.
Thanks, Dan.
Just got a hole in it. And make it totally useless.
A
There we
hole in
go.
this so you can take shots through it.
I think there's a delay between our streaming and they're seeing it. I know
Yes.
It might be.
there's like a minute delay from my viewing.
Wow, a whole minute. Okay. Okay.
I just showed you.
So on to some important business. Talking about Steampunk. Jack, Lex,
Yes.
we got to start with you're steampunkers, right? How did you find out about steampunk? How'd you get into steampunk? And what is steampunk to you? Let's go there.
I actually started with the SCA. I was a medieval reenactor for a long time, and I love the creation aspects. I love the community aspects. But one of the things that really deeply troubled me about the community was this hostage that they would hold on new information and creativity. When you get somebody who had done extensive knowledge, they kind of gatekeeped and they didn't really want to share that with the community. I went to a convention, and at the convention, I met this incredible group of steampunkers who had all the same sorts of things, the leather working, the metal working, just everything that I loved about the medieval reenactment community. But when you talk to them, they sat there and they went step by step, and they're like, this is what I did, and this is the tool that I use, and it wasn't an appropriate tool, but it's what I had. And it was just so beautiful to see them sharing this concept of information and loving their craft enough to share it with people.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one thing I like about the steampunks. And Jack, what's your story?
Well, my ex-girlfriend got me to go to a Renaissance festival, and I bought this hat, and I was like, I'm gonna be a pirate. Well, the piracy never went away, but the character definitely has evolved, and so I think it pretty much I picked up on the steampunk thing when I met her and the group out in El Paso. Yeah, the Coyote's Fortune. Rest its soul.
Hey, Coyote's Fortune is still a thing. Just vaguely.
Now you really hit that rock hard, though.
Yeah.
I know there is an El Paso group. I see them.
There is a Clockwork Revent. No.
Clockwork Rebellion.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I know there's a Steampunk El Paso Facebook group that I joined a while back.
Yeah, we've been long patrons of that one. So shout out to those guys.
Okay. That's good. And I don't know, for any new viewers out there or new listeners, sorry, we are live, but we are recording for future podcasting. My name is Flavio. I got into steampunk because of Thax here.
Oh.
But I met Thax in a. He's denying it.
I'll remember something.
It was a medieval fantasy group called HFS, High Fantasy Society. It was an offshoot of Amcard, which is an offshoot of SCA. Blah blah blah. That's where I met Thax. And then later on, after I stopped playing that, when I stopped playing that, Thax started his own LARP group, and I joined that up with him for a while. And then one day, Thax said, "Hey, do you know about this thing called steampunk?" And I said, "No, tell me more." And he told me about a friend of his who had this little steampunk shop, and I went over there and looked at it, and I bought all the stuff, and boom, I was in.
That's fair.
I mean, it was supposed to be a meetup, but I got there early or something, and so I left. I think Zach showed up later, and she's like, "Who was that guy? He dropped your name."
I do remember that. That was Sam Tyler's shop.
Exactly.
I don't know if you ever got to meet Sam Tyler, but she was the heart and soul of the Austin steampunk community for years.
We
And then-
came
then
all
she-
the
then-
way to the Austin community. We only moved here about three and a half years ago, and we started kind of getting involved. And at that point, it started dissipating. We had a lot of people in the community who just stopped showing to events, and so I think the last event we went to, there were 2 people other than us.
Yeah, because Sam Tyler threw Unobtainium. It was a 1 weekend, 1 event steampunk outdoor event, and it was awesome. Thax and I were participants as actors, troupe actors. I was only there for 1 day because I had to go out of town the next day for a new job, so I missed half of it. And then after that, she kind of burned out and she moved to Colorado. I don't know why she moved to Colorado. It had nothing. I don't think it has anything to do with the steampunk. It just life sent her to Colorado.
That's fair.
And then we had another friend who kind of took up the mantle of the steampunk, getting the gathering together, and it held on for a while, but it kind of shifted, and he lost interest as well, kind of, and it just kind of faded away. Dax and I tried to do meetups after that, and it just didn't take off. People stopped showing up and just kind of faded away. But that's okay. I mean, I don't know how much of a resurgence we can bring, but I'm going to try my best. It takes a really strong personality to gather a bunch of people like that, and we'll see. We'll find out. Because I know there's still people in Austin. I know there's still steampunks in Austin. They're here. I've seen them. I know them. I mean, that one little thing we did out in the Lorraine Ghost Town.
Even so, we can't do anything now because we're all locked down. So So we're doing what we can.
Exactly. Right here.
Yeah.
Yes, because of the lockdown and everything. I'm sorry. Well, because of the lockdown for this damn plague. Sure. Yeah, for the new people, anybody who doesn't know us. I mean, I'm sure most people. If you subscribe to the podcast, you probably know us. But if there's new people out there, they need to know.
Oh yeah, send them over here. We're always looking for good.
You've already heard Flavio's story, which is basically a reflection of my story. I heard about steampunk at this club was meeting like once every 2 weeks, or so, and I went out to one of the meetings. It was this large group of people in one of the back rooms of a restaurant, and it was all very social club, and everybody was dressed really nice. And I think I went to a couple of those before I told Flavio. But not much. You got in just the same time I did.
I jumped in both feet.
Yeah. Both of us did. All of us did. And I think we all have Sam Tyler, the lady you're talking about with that store, to thank for it. She was amazing.
Yes, indeed.
And that was
get to meet her.
Yeah.
What was this?
7-8 years ago.
Was it before or after? Yeah. Was this before or after 2010? Because apparently Justin Bessel saying Green Steam Festival in Austin. I don't remember a Green Steam Austin festival.
I do.
Was that before or after we jumped in?
That was around the same time. The Green Steam Festival was a music festival that was very Austin. It wasn't really steampunk as I understand it. I didn't make it to the Green Steam Festival.
I know I didn't.
But I got the impression that it wasn't a focused steampunk event, but it definitely had steampunk aspects to it, and they were trying to do kind of play to that aesthetic. But I don't think they really contacted the steampunk community enough to make that a big thing. Clockwork Con was the first big Austin convention that I remember going to.
I remember we went to that one. That was fun. It was in a little hotel off of 183 and 35 here, right? Yeah. It was fun.
Had great music. We saw Steve Car Giraffe there. So
yep, that's when I discovered them there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
we went
they got some money for that con.
Yeah, we
and then
out in Dallas.
Yeah.
Sky Captain's Masquerade Ball. That
On
was
the-
such
on the
an
airfield.
excellent event.
We went to that.
We went to that.
We remember
Yeah.
that.
I think we all met there. We were still living in
Oh.
Midland, Texas at that point, but who knew?
Apparently, there were a lot of steampunks there. Apparently, they took over half the grounds
Oh,
in
cool.
Bee Caves. Cool. That's awesome. Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, there's this other one that happens every now and then over at this ghost town place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. At the Lorraine Ghost Town out here in Maynard, Texas.
Yep.
Since
That's
the
awesome.
lockdown, they
Texas.
got broken into,
It's not
and
me.
some of their
Yeah,
stuff was
I've heard.
damaged, and a mess was made. So that's a concern at the moment.
Yeah, well, I heard they reopened. I saw them Well, they posted on Facebook that they are reopening. Shorter hours and stuff, but they are reopening.
Good. We'll
Good.
have to stop by for a burger sometime.
Yes.
Pretty ugly. I really hope that they were able to find out who did that.
That's pretty sad, considering they were upgraded a lot because there was a show that was filmed there. I think it was
I remember
Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. I think they
Westworld. It was Westworld,
Westworld. Oh, okay.
and it wasn't filmed there,
I thought it was.
but they had an after party at the ghost town.
And they
Oh,
And just for the after party, they built that huge building.
Oh,
upgraded. Yeah, that's cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So
and then
I guess
we had
that was
2 years ago, right after that. So everything was very new.
I remember driving by it here recently. I had a client I had to go see, and I'm like, it's all these big things and lights, and like, what kind of thing are they filming out there today? That's cool. The cops
Yeah.
have blocked off that one area of the road, and
Oh.
yeah.
So they weren't filming anything.
Wow. Okay. So that was kind of the past of steampunk and our past. And so what are we talking about the present of steampunk? I mean, what is our present steampunk situation? We're all locked down. What are we doing steampunk for ourselves at home? Did you say you had something? Someone sent you a message, Stax, and wrote you a
Sure. It wasn't. This is a public message, so I feel like it's okay for me to read it.
Okay.
But one of the singers for Space Force. No, that's not.
Oh
right.
yeah.
Space Corps.
Space
a
Corps.
local,
Yeah.
Steampunk Austin band. Christina wrote on her social media. She says, "I can't think of anything else to do that I haven't done. Every hobby I can think of plus more. Working out and dancing every day to scare away depression to the point that I don't think y'all would recognize me. Lol. Give me fresh, free-ish stuff to do. And not TV or book. Idle hands will be the death of me one day." And I thought, yeah, that's exactly right. Don't we all feel just like Christina right now? We can't go out. We can't do anything. I don't want to watch any more TV. I need to do something.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I am quickly running out and getting bored with TV as well. Although I did watch the Space Force show, it wasn't as funny as it should have been.
I thought it was hilarious.
We're on
It
episode
had
10.
really good moments.
Yeah.
It was a lot more genuine than I expected it to be. One of the things I was expecting was that embarrassment humor that you get in like The Office. And I mean, especially since it was brought to us by the creators. So I sat there listening and just waiting for those moments. And when they didn't hit them, I wasn't sure quite what humor to expect. And about midway through, they started hitting it, and Malkovich really brought it home, I thought.
Yes, Malkovich was really good in it. I understand. I agree.
I don't like Malkovich.
But that's not. Unfortunately, that's not steampunk.
No, I agree. John Malkovich was awesome.
So now that we got to bring it back to the tangent, though, what I've been doing is I've been finding old projects that I wanted to start, materials that I purchased that I never did anything with, I just didn't have time for, and going back and doing them. I've been knitting, I've been drawing, I've been painting. We've been doing. Oh yeah, Jack's actually got one right here.
All right, this is kind of
Oh, yeah?
a tag in for my for a game that
Let's
I've
see
been
it.
playing called
I
Atlas.
zoomed in on you. Let's see it.
So
Nice.
we play a game called Atlas, and it's a pirate game. And my group is called the IRS, and so the top of the little thing says, "We've got things to take what you've got." And so I decided
Nice.
to take that.
So we've been doing a lot of painting. We've been doing a lot of creating, and we've been reaching out to more creators. And I'm kind of happy about the fact that we've had this moment, this lull, because I mean, a lot of creators have other jobs as well. That line, "Don't quit your day job," a lot of people take that seriously, and I get it, because it's hard to make it out here as an artist, and that's part of the reason why we started Steamchest, so that we could support artists. But we've been able to reach out to more artists, and they've been doing things like sewing things for us, they've been making more things for us, and like the masks that we're wearing right now, these are actually some of the things that people have been making, and I'm really proud that people are coming out here and they're doing something to help the community. For every mask that we bought, a mask was donated to a hospital.
And I love those prints.
Yeah, me.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
They're nice. I mean, unfortunately, I'm still working full time. I got a letter and everything saying I'm essential, but I'm not doing anything medical wise. It's more security for stores, is what not physical security. I'll call it anti-shoplifting equipment is what I work on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just the guy behind the Bruce God saying, "Push that button." But other than that, when I've been podcasting, I've been producing, editing, sound designing 2 podcasts, working on a 3rd one now. The 3rd one I'm about to work on is actually Steampunk. It's Saul Ravencraft. I think you might know that name, Saul Ravencraft.
Mhm.
His Cabinet of Curiosities podcast. We did this script that we're working on right now. We did this live on stage back in the heyday. It's called Horror Among Thieves. And basically it's an anthology. It's an anthology where basically every episode is going to be a different story of some oddity that he has in his cabinet, like a shrunken head or a haunted box and stuff like that, and how he got it and where it's history.
Sounds fun.
And it's going to be fun. So far, it's pretty fun. And the other ones I'll talk about later on. They're not steampunk, but they're fun. What have you been doing, Thax?
Well, like Lax said, this is an amazing time to have a lot of extra time on your hands. Everybody who's watching this obviously has the internet. So the university that is YouTube calls and waits to teach you how to knit and sew and paint and do epoxy clay or anything you could possibly want. So I haven't been doing anything, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube.
Learning.
But you do that. But you've been doing a lot of that stuff for a long time. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff that you attempted.
I
You know.
have. And I've been sort of picking up lost projects. I finally finished my electric bicycle.
Oh, boy.
Oh, nice.
Finally finished my electric bicycle. Frustrated with not being able to finish. I couldn't make the brakes work after changing the tire.
Oh no.
And I found out it took me months to figure out that the brake pads I had on were backwards and upside down.
Oh.
And once I
Okay.
fixed that, everything's okay.
Awesome.
If you want to be truly authentic, you want to get wooden brakes.
Yes.
I don't want to be authentic. I want to stop.
That's fair.
The safety science of 300 years to kick in.
No, I
I
agree.
think it's right because it's also kind of steampunkish, right? The look of it.
Oh yeah,
The paint on it. And all that, yeah.
You want me to? Do I show you? I can show you.
You have a picture on your
Yeah.
phone or something?
Sure.
Hold on.
Oh, he's gonna take his camera with him.
Oh,
Oh, there it is.
Cool.
Let me zoom in.
That is swank.
Ooh,
Like the messenger bag.
I
Okay.
like it.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Oh wait, you caught in closer. Sorry, let me zoom in again.
I've got an old air horn zip tied to the middle of it, which is
Nice.
my favorite part.
Awesome.
What else have I been doing though? Unlike Lex's attitude of picking up old projects and actually working on them, I've been giving away a bunch of materials. I have had
Cleaning, it's good.
yeah, I am a natural hoarder, which is embarrassing, and I've been fighting that urge. So I've been pulling out stuff out of my garage and even before the lockdown, I was taking it to the thrift store, which is probably where I bought it in the first place. And every week I'd take like another crate, which is like, okay, this is my next small step. But I found on Facebook, there's this thing called the Buy Nothing group.
Mm-hmm.
And they're groups specific to your neighborhood.
Huh.
So you can post things you want to give away, and your neighbors can say, I want that, and they'll come and get it. Or, they can post things and you can get their stuff. And I've been trying.
Well, didn't you usually just put it out in the... Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. For large furniture in my neighborhood, you just put it in front of your house, and it goes away.
And it goes away.
And I've done some of that, too. But these are things
I really wish that would happen in my neighborhood.
I understand. My garage is so full of stuff, and it's I've been working on it. I also have been hard. Yeah, it is hard, and of course with the whole food issue we were having earlier in this lockdown thing, I just decided, you know what, it's finally time to go do the garden thing, and I have been buying lumber and tools, and I've built myself a very nice garden. And with the help of Lex over here, she's been germinating stuff in our back room with some grow lights that we've got, and then we're putting it in the ground. So I have like 8 or 9 like 4x8 boxes. Some of them are half that, so 9 total boxes, but they're of varying different sizes, of like cabbage and pumpkins
and
watermelon,
tomatoes and chilies. We have
peas.
We have a lot of vegetables. In total, we counted 87 different varieties.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay.
And we planted a couple.
Amazing.
So we're like food. We're ready for apocalypse now for the food side of things. At least vegetable wise, I haven't figured out how to grow a chicken yet on a plant, but we're working on that.
Yeah, I'm not that. I can't grow anything. I inherited my mom's black thumb. And I touch a plant, it dies. So except for the weeds in my backyard. So
I have like an entire half my lawn I no longer have to mow now because I've dedicated it.
See, you don't call them weeds, you call them wildflowers.
Yes.
And natural vegetation. There you go. See.
Okay. Except one of these weeds is called a mulberry tree or something like that, and it grows like it's tearing apart my fence in the back, and I've been trying to get rid of those. Been fighting those for a while.
Is it a fruiting mulberry or is it a male mulberry?
There's no fruit on them. It may not even be. I might be even calling it wrong, but it's a tree. It's a tree weed, and it grows fast, and it's tearing apart my fence, and I've been fighting those off for a while.
Yeah, I dealt with those too. That's rough.
But what was I going to say? I forget it. Go on.
Other stuff I've been doing. I sew, or I used to sew. I've sort of tried to get back into that with some steampunk projects that have just been sitting on the side. And I'm still going to work like you, Flavio. So a lot of time I spend at work pulling my thumbs, thinking of things I wish I was doing.
I know.
Like Christina mentioned, she was looking for something that was free-ish. And so I made this out of stuff I found at work, since it is the lockdown and the...
Okay.
Get yourself a
plague mask. Nice.
Plague mask.
Right. Hard to figure out where Yeah. So it's a plague mask. But this is the fun part. So this is made out of a box that sodas came in.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Like a little robot.
It's very French. It's very
sparkling water, LaCroix sparkling water. That is this box exactly.
Very French. Very good. Yes.
And the front is paper mache from a Taco Bell bag that I took for lunch one day.
Ingenuity right there.
Hey man.
So paper mache obviously is at least the way I did it was PVA glue or Elmer's glue and water. Mm-hmm. You rip off a piece of bag, dip it in there, and schlep it on. And then I took full strength PVA glue and sealed the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And it took some like black acrylic paint and sort of washed it to give it that sort of weathered, blackened look.
Nice.
That was it. That cost next to nothing.
Nope, it doesn't cost anything.
And it's lightweight.
Speaking of don't cost anything. I actually decided to sit down and finally make myself my Harry Potter wand. And I was gardening, and I was sitting there cutting this bamboo up for like propping up plants. I found one that was like the perfect length. I'll figure it out here somewhere. So I grab it, and it's got these little nubs right where you're like. It was a perfect like holding thing for handle stuff. So I sat there and we're watching a show. I can't remember what we're watching. I'm sitting there with my paracord and just like weaving the handle for this thing, and my wife thinks I'm nuts. I'm just like, oh, you.
Yeah, I always think you're nuts about everything.
You really do.
It's just me.
But so I haven't really got any big projects other than Apocalypse Garden. But I mean, I could dig out all my electrical stuff and start working on that again. Try to make something glow in the dark. But I got tired.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I have a lot of unfinished projects as well. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go, please.
So I have a few unfinished projects as well that's been sitting around for a while. I was trying to make a steampunk rocket pack. I got halfway through that. It lights up and everything, but I haven't finished it. My problem is I know it's probably simple. I'm going to say this and people are going to say, oh, you just do it this way. It's so simple, but I can't figure out how to put the straps on properly to hold it in place on my back, like a backpack, kind of thing. But I mean, I see people do it all the time. It's probably something simple, but I haven't figured it out. So it's been sitting there forever, just gathering dust.
It's that one step where you're just like, I'm unsure how to do this because if I do it wrong, it ruins everything and I got to start over.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I've noticed some people use
and then
find like an Alice pack frame, like the old military Vietnam thing. I'm not going to say do that by no means because those things are freaking heavy and uncomfortable. But I've seen people use those because they look really good. But depends. If you're going to have it sitting on the ground and wanting it to look good, that's different than wearing it and having it look good.
Right. I was kind of planning to wear it, just for maybe not all day or anything, but just wear it for a little while because I have a pilot outfit that I was working on, and I kind of have, and I wanted a jetpack to but just I haven't finished it. And I can't think of how long it's been sitting there, but it's been sitting there, as well as a bunch of Nerf guns that need to be painted and modded and kind of stuff like that. Those are mine. I'm not as elaborate as Dax, but I have a few unfinished projects as well that I probably should pick up. I am working full time.
I was actually pretty impressed with some of the things they have made themselves more available since the COVID crisis. People going out and making their programs free and free source accessing. So things like Codecademy, if you wanted to learn robotics, there are actually like code programs where you can learn how to do robotics. And I think that's really nifty. There's also learning languages. That's something Duolingo does their free program, and it reminds you to do it. And it's super annoying, but I'll tell you what, I was doing it every single day because I had to get my streak.
Oh yeah, she was so on it. It'd be like 11:30 at night. We're like winding down, and her phone dings, and she's like, "Crap! I scored!" And so she's sitting there yelling Spanish in the bathroom on her phone.
Spanish, it just went to town.
I'm just like, maybe it's time for me to finally do it. I may have to sit down and actually learn Klingon for the final time.
Duolingo has Klingon? They do. Wow, that's funny. I like that. But yeah, of course, I should probably learn Spanish. I don't know Spanish. I should know Spanish.
I'm living in Texas. We should know Spanish. We need to know Spanish.
It would be very useful. Yes. I do know some of the cuss words, of course, but who doesn't, right?
That's fair.
That's where you start. That's the beginning. It's the gateway to a whole new language.
You get in with the fun stuff, and then you get into the
Spanish that way.
The thing that gets you in trouble is where you start at, So,
I mean, the only other thing I've been doing this is the current Steampunk. I know she said like she's tired of reading books or whatever, but I do read a lot I do read a lot. I read books, I read comics, but there's some comics that I need to bring up now because they're very steampunk, and one of the reasons I'm bringing them up because you can't just walk into your comic shop and find these. These come from a company called Allegiance, and they're only available at Walmart, oddly enough. And the first issue came out a few weeks ago. The issue 2 is going to come out next week. First one's called The Futurists. I don't know if you can see that with the glare.
Yeah, I see it. Ooh, that looks pretty.
Okay.
I like the cover art.
You can only find them on Walmart. You can find them on the Walmart site, or you can go to allegianceart.com and you can click on a link and it'll send you to where you can buy them online. But you can only get them at Walmart. Unfortunately, the thing is they put a Walmart price sticker on them, and that's really for people who actually collect. That's very problematic. But the Futurists, basically, it starts off with a couple of alchemists, mages, kind of people in the 1800s, late 1800s. One of them has apparently found some kind of secret to youth, and then it goes to a flashback, I guess, where they found some artifact in Egypt, the British soldiers. So it's steampunk in the fact that it has magic and it's the right time period.
Nice.
And all that kind of stuff. The other one, not as steampunk, but it's definitely the right time period. It's called Bass Reeves. It's about Bass Reeves, the guy who inspired the Lone Ranger.
Love the hat.
It's more.
I didn't know Bass Reeves inspired the Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger
Yeah,
is
he
so
inspired the Lone Ranger.
he's so white.
Exactly, that's the problem. Bass Reeves was a black man, but he's the catalyst who inspired the legend of the Lone Ranger.
Oh, Bass Reeves.
It's more of a biography. Yeah, he is. It's more of a biography of his life so far in the first comic. There was nothing supernatural or anything about it. But it's in the right time period. It could maybe. I'm hoping maybe there might be a little bit of a weird twist to it to make it more steampunk, Wild West kind of thing, Weird West. But it counts. In my book, it's close enough to me.
Yeah.
The next one is called the Red Rooster. It's a superhero comic. This is more diesel punk. It's in the time period of 1930s, but it's a superhero kind of along the lines of Captain America, and it's just fun superhero stuff, and it has a group of evil supervillains, stuff like that. But that falls more on the diesel punk, and I heard this on the Diesel Punk podcast. They agree it's diesel punk.
What is what's the name of Tony's comic?
Not the Misfit Toys, but something very similar to it.
There's a steampunker who was out of Roswell. He's up in the Washington area these days. He does this very macabre sort of. I don't know if you're familiar with the game Alice. That was very horror oriented. Alice in Wonderland.
Very much that.
He does a plague doctor themed comic that's just absolutely fun and terrible and hilarious. I can't remember for the life of me what the name of it is, though. Let me see if I can't find it.
Yeah, you find that you can watch.
Yeah, when you do, you can put a link. You can put a link up on our page for it if there's a link.
Let's see here. Let me figure.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. But you can go to those of you who are watching and want to can't wait. You can go to the Steamchest on YouTube, and he's one of the friends on the side, and so you can watch a lot of his fun stuff. He's having the time of his life with the plague thing right now. He was actually hired by New Mexico, I believe.
No, he's up in Oregon.
Oh, Oregon. Mm-hmm. I guess one of the small towns in Oregon hired him to run around in his plague uniform with a sign that said, "Wash your damn hands." And so he's just like, "It's my moment."
It's called
Nice. Holy crap! We've been on for a while. Well, while you're talking, we might as well talk about your Steamchest. Do a little commercial plug for your Steamchest. I'll zoom in on you. You can tell us what's going on with that. What the deal is and all that kind of stuff.
You're better at it.
So we're a steampunk subscription service. We try to find artists around the world and bring them to your door. We typically try to include anywhere from 3 to 7 artists, depending on the quality of the product and the level of the product. And we make sure that we get that to your door every month. We find musicians. We find
t-shirts,
artwork. We've had a couple of sculptors. We've had a couple of comics and authors and all sorts of fun, different types of things in our boxes. And we like to bring that to the community. And we do this service mostly because we just want artists to have more of their content get to the people.
And so we're buying content from artists, bringing it to your door, sending you their cards so you can go and get commissions or more of their stuff to begin, anything they bring. So it's been going strong here now for, we're like on our 60th or 70th box now or so, sending out. Mm-hmm. So once a month.
Wow.
consistently, and
it's always new content. Sometimes we've had music that we haven't put out for a couple of years that we include again, because it's actually a pretty limited amount of music, and sometimes musicians are harder to get a hold of than you'd think.
And we do our best to make sure there isn't any duplication. I mean, like, there will be times where you have a guy who's been with us for like 6 years, and he's going to get some of the same stuff that we're resending out when most of our fan base has turned over, and we're resending out the same thing. But we don't just send it out the same. Like if it's a t-shirt, we're changing it up, we're adding text, we are making the picture different, so it's not exactly the same by no means. We've
had film content, and that was one of the things that I loved at the very, very beginning, and it was actually what motivated us to start. There was a film that was perspective. Unfortunately, it never made it through because
Steampunk's
Hollywood's very big on remakes, and this was new content. It was so beautiful. It looked like a combination of like Chronicles of Riddick aesthetics of it, and
John Carter of Mars.
Yeah, like a John Carter of Mars sort of thing. It was just really, really beautiful, and the concept was amazing, and we were super stoked about watching that when we went to Wild Wild West Con. And
we got to talk to the director. We got a small viewing, about 15 minutes.
And we asked them, well, what are you doing to promote? And he said it's basically just word of mouth. And so we're walking after we'd seen this beautiful content. We're walking up to go get our tea so we could do our tea dueling, and there was this little band on the sidelines, and they played the most beautiful music. My God, my heart basically stopped. It was so pretty, and I was really excited. I started talking to them once they were done with their song, and I asked them, I was like, why aren't you the group that's playing on the stage tonight? And they said, oh, well, we just didn't have enough word of mouth names. And so we went home, and I thought on it for a few weeks, and I said, we could be that marketing platform for some of these places. And so we try to share people's music and people's art.
And we've been doing it for 6 years now.
Well, I didn't realize it was 6 years. Holy crap, that's a long time.
We did an unboxing video.
Yes,
of
yes,
one
we
of
did.
your Steamchests. Looks like the last season, so 2 years ago now.
The one and only time we did a video.
Well, thank you.
Did you get one of our Steampunk tees?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
After we've gotten our contract with them, we have included a Steampunk tee for I want to say 2.5 years now. So I was wondering if that was when you made your video.
We've had a couple of guys. We have a
Yeah,
guy
we definitely got some tea.
that used to do, like, he got one of our year subscriptions, and he gave us a video every month. Hit me up a while back going, hey, is there any way I could get your Christmas box? Because I know it's always the best one, and I'll do a video on it. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's cool. Just send me the link to it, and we'll, stuck some extra, little Christmas cheer in there for him, and we got a video out of it. And he's actually on our website.
That's
on
pretty
our
cool.
website as well. So we like to have it to where people can see our content and know what's in the box, at least have a good idea of what's in the box, so they have an idea of what's the consistency. And so I actually considered sitting here doing unboxing videos for myself. I'm sitting there going, it seems a little weird. I don't mind other people doing it. I don't mind. It's like, here's our stuff we're having in the box last month. I mean, I don't mind that either.
Yeah,
so,
but I think for you, it wouldn't be an unboxing so much as a boxing. This is what's going in.
We could just call it Steampunk's Boxing Day.
Yep. Oh my God, it is a day. It is a day. Sometimes
So
2 days.
well, it's the beginning of July right now. When does your box usually go out? For the
all right,
month.
so we usually, if you sign up anytime during a month, if it's before the 5th, you got to wait until the 5th of the next month before we charge you, because now you're on the list. So the 5th, let's say you sign up on the 1st of a month. On the 5th, you get charged, which means you're on our list. And anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks later, you will get a box. We do try to hit
Okay.
before the next month. Lately, supply lines are stretched, and so our boxes aren't landing once a month at the moment. They're kind of bunching up when we get stuff in, and so you might get 1 to 2 boxes in the same month, but we're not behind.
Yeah, we had 3 artists who ended up contracting COVID, and we had them scheduled for months, and we were all ready, and then we go to get our product, and it doesn't come in, and we had to talk to them and figure out what was going on with it. That's one of the issues that you get when you're working directly with people instead of buying products from China.
Yep. And so we had to deal with
true. But luckily they had an excuse though. They had COVID.
Oh,
so,
we weren't
set it
upset
aside
with
for a
them.
couple of weeks in quarantine ourselves, because the last thing we want to do is ship it.
Yeah.
And so we having to exchanging product around in boxes and trying to keep at least the motif right for each box. So it's as a small business, it's been a struggle. But
I'm sorry. No, I wasn't laughing at y'all. I have a cat here that's doing something stupid.
You're fine.
I made me chuckle. Sorry.
Our first video,
I thought you were gonna feed.
That was like up your nose and around the corner.
No, it was like because I was trying not to laugh out loud, and because there's a cat here near me. Sorry, go ahead.
Internet points. Get the cat in front of the camera.
So yeah, it's been an interesting thing going through a pandemic of this nature as a small business, where we're trying to mail things to people all over the place. Because if we had a sniffle, we're like, oh goodness, we have to go to the doctor and make sure we don't have COVID, so we're not giving it to our clients.
Yeah, and like sending volunteers home, and it's just stay away from our equipment and our gear that we're sending out. Last thing we want to do is get transmission point.
Yeah, I kind of have to worry about that because I'm out there amongst the peoples doing my job, and it's just a lot of those places I go to. Like I'm going out to Ozona tomorrow, and they don't wear their masks or nothing out there. So
that's actually why I'm wearing my mask today. I was in the midst of a lot of people the other day, and I don't want to get him sick in the event that I'm asymptomatic for something.
Okay, so that was Steamchest. I'm gonna say an unofficial sponsor / co-host of our show now. I have something I want to plug real fast. I mentioned it briefly earlier. My podcast that I'm doing. You go to digitalrexhelix.com. There'll be 3 if you count this one, which is not on there yet. There's
your other podcast.
It all went so well. It all went so well in my head.
Me and my
Interstellar
alien?
Sunrise. Well, yeah. My alien and I. There's 2 of them. The one of us is my alien and me. Basically, what happens when an adolescent alien kidnaps a human for their school project, and hilarity ensues. There's 8 episodes of that. We came to a screeching halt due to other situations. I just finished up Interstellar Sunrise. That is written by a local author who wrote a series of books called Interstellar Spring, and Interstellar Sunrise is a prequel to his book series. It is a 6 episode limited series, and it basically a prequel how the crew met and got together and all that kind of stuff. It's actually really good. Like I said, I did the production, the sound effects, the editing. I didn't do any acting in that one, so no worries there. Got all the actors together and everything. It's really good. I highly suggest it. Like I said, the other one, My Earthling and Me, that's more of a comedy. It's written by the actors. I have a voice in there in that one as myself, but I do all the editing and noise production, all that kind of stuff as well. And like I said, Saul Ravencraft's Cabinet of Curiosity is forthcoming, and that one's steampunk. So
nice.
It's going to be fun.
Look forward to that. We may be able to figure out a way to put that in our box somehow, at least a link to it.
Yeah, or a little fob or something.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little while. It's still in production. I'm still waiting for since we're not able to meet and record. They're doing their individual recording. That takes longer, and production and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be slow, but we're working on it. And that's my commercial. Man, we are going to run long if you continue. We've been on it for almost a little over 50 minutes now. We were planning on an hour.
Yep.
We'll make it. My turn. Since
we
have been talking about picking up new hobbies and crafting and learning new things on the internet. I know coming into this, the idea was no TV and no books, but nevertheless, I'm going to recommend
Break
not
the
TV, but a YouTube channel that it's not steampunk, but it is an amazing crafting channel. That's called. Let me see if I can share that.
I have another cat here who's over there giving me the look. He does not like my hat. So every time I wear a hat, he freaks out. He's just giving me this wide-eyed look. Like, what the hell's going on?
All right.
There's no way I'm gonna be able to get him on camera because.
This YouTube channel here is called Steady Craftin', the Craftsman Steady Craftin'. If you can see that, I don't know if that's showing.
You got it now.
And it is adorable. The episodes show you generally how to craft epoxy sculpt, 3D print, modify your Matchbox cars, how to do photography, just anything. And it's a lot of fun to watch. And even if you never want to work on any of these things, he is super entertaining because if you can see in some of these pictures, that little puppet with the hair, that's the craftsman. That's the guy you're listening to.
Okay, cool.
Has this voice that's sort of quirky Louisiana slang, and he's mellow and soothing. And if you just are feeling anxious, he's just very, very calming.
Just put you at ease.
That's funny.
I
mean, as you said, it's not. You said it's not steampunk, but indirectly it kind of is because steampunks are makers, and that's for making things.
Right.
Straight
and that's why I want to introduce anybody who hasn't ever seen the Craftsman Steady Craftin'. Check it out. Just look through his videos and pick something you might be interested in. And he's really knowledgeable, and he'll show you his experiments with working with this product or this technique, and he'll show you his mess ups, and it's fun to learn with him.
Okay,
so,
that's like fun.
Yeah,
I'll look him up.
Sometimes you learn more from mistakes. Sometimes that's for sure.
But it's better to learn from his mistakes than yours.
Than your own.
Yeah,
like I make a mistake, so you don't have to.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the best way to learn.
Yes.
Okay, so I believe we should probably wrapping it up now. We're coming up on an hour.
So before we do, though,
we did not get to most. Go ahead.
Well, before we wrap up, mainly for next week, if anyone that is watching this later, put something in the comments. At one point or another, we will be tallying up all the comments before we do another one of these, or in the future one of these, and it will be seen. It'll be seen, and we will look at and consider putting it up here because content's content. We need content, and we're willing to. You guys generate it so well. So please hit us up in the comments. And we are currently planning on every 2 weeks, so we'll be back on the 16th of this month is the plan.
Sounds good.
I love
because that is what I'm believing our plan is at the time. It may change in the future, but right now that is our current plan. We didn't get to all our topics, but that's okay. We'll make up for it later. Any last words, Stacks?
No, I think this was a great show. I'm really looking forward to doing more of these live style events here. This is pretty cool.
I'm enjoying it. This is definitely a new format for us.
I get to talk to other people. It's great. Oh my god.
This is definitely a new format for us, and I'm liking it. Thanks Jack and Lex for joining us as co-host. Hopefully this will add a new dynamic to the show. We'll get to know each other better, and things will go.
Maybe in another 2-3 months, we'll have a beer together.
Sounds good.
Yeah, in real life, yeah.
All right,
although,
guys.
like I said, the Lorraine Ghost Town's opening up. Maybe we can meet there and just sit 6 feet apart or further.
Sounds good. I like that idea. Let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to end the broadcast. To our listeners, thank you again, and we'll be seeing you. Good night.
Mind your gauges.
Bye.
Are clear again. Let us sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. All together, shout it now. There's no one who